And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Good night, no, not good night. Good evening, everyone. Especially if
There
you're
you
here
go.
on the East Coast, but if you're in other parts of the world, hello. How are you? Good morning. Good night. Um, I'm Bobby Legs, and welcome to the Friday night Watch Chat. And I'm joined by my friends as always, Joe and Amin. How are you guys?
Bobby,
Joe, how you doing, man? And what do you got on wrist tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. TGIF, Bobby, and
Yeah,
TGIF to everyone. I see here that Oil Money Watches says he's double wristing and double fisting. So
yeah.
I'll write back at him. I got a double right here in my Bobby Legs mug, and
So-
Nice.
I'm also double wristing because I showed you guys, and I guess I can show everyone a little vintage haul that I brought in today. I was just putzing around and messing about with an auction earlier this week, and so I picked up a couple of old things. Like there's this funky old like 60s style diver from this defunct brand called Olma that I don't know. It's dumb, but it has
Oh,
like
I
this.
didn't realize you bought those.
Yeah.
I saw the picture. Sweet.
Oh
I
yeah.
I didn't know that. I just
Mhm.
I was working late. I just saw the picture.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just on a lark, and I like it has this funky little like roulette bezel here, and that's cool. And then I got this funky red Bulova because always wanted to.
yeah.
I grew up in Queens, so headquarters of Bulova. So always wanted one, and so got myself a red one. Anyway,
Cool.
that's
That's
all.
awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, I
Was this
see a vintage haul came in today. I like both of them. Very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, they're
w-
fun, just
w-
for s's and
w-
giggles.
so this wasn't part of this that other auction that we were kind of salivating over, right? That had all the
Oh
Parmesan is
yeah,
was that
no,
Christie's?
that was like some fancy
Yeah,
Sotheby's or
Sotheby's. Yeah,
Christie's or something. Yeah,
Crispies. Yes,
Crispies.
Crispies.
Joe, is
uh,
that red strap? Did that come with the Bulova or did you buy that?
It
Is that your
yeah.
strap?
did.
Let me give
It.
you a solo layout there, Joe. Why don't you
Oh,
show us?
thanks. And it came with it. Sorry, focus.
Yeah, yeah.
Bad. It came with it, but I don't know if it was original to the strap. This watch is like 40 something years old, so I don't
Huh.
think the
That
original leather band would have survived. But it did
is.
come with this funky like expandable.
Oh, old school. I was wondering about that.
That is great, man. I love that shape. Is that like a 70s? I mean, like I feel like
Very
it's
70s.
like
Yeah.
in that time period, like all the I just love that look.
Yeah, this is a 1973 model called a Jetstar. Do you guys mind if I tell the story
That's
of
Not
this?
at
my
all.
that's my birth year watch. I have to buy that off of you when you're tired of
There,
it.
there you go. There, exactly. So, so not only is the lovely red hue of it. I mean, this thing. I'm not comparing it to a high horology piece by any means, but one of my favorite things is Bobby Kumar's tribute to Small Seconds. Red JLC Reverso, and this color, it kind of it's dark red like that with kind of a funny fade, not fume, but it gets a little darker around the periphery of the dial. So it has the same style. But then in the auction, I saw the engraved back. It's got an engraved back, and it's the most awesome thing in the world because this watch was bestowed upon Mr. Bob Sagan. Uh, because in November 26th, 1974,
My birth year.
probably, yeah, like, you guys can fight it out.
Me and Rob are gonna fight it out for this one.
Yeah.
So, probably on Thanksgiving Day in 1974, Mr. Sagan, he was at the Burr Oak Bowl in Illinois, and
Yeah.
he bowled a perfect game.
Yes.
And
Wow,
they engraved all of that into this case back here. You can't
Oh, hold
really
on, hold on,
see it.
hold on. Let me
that's
see.
awesome.
We'll try. We'll try.
It's hard. There's his
Yeah.
name up top here.
Yeah, back it
uh,
up a little bit. Yeah.
and then it says
Oh,
something like 300 game Burr Oak Bowl, and it has the
yeah.
date on it.
Wow.
And so I
That's
can
awesome.
I can only imagine. In fact, I did a little more digging, and I think I found in old archives, I found a picture that I'm trying to share here of what Bob looked like when he won, when he got that perfect game in Illinois.
Perfect.
So this was Bob in
That's
1974.
awesome.
So that is what this watch is. So when I saw it, I told myself, have to have it.
Yeah, that. So I was on the bowling team in high school. So like
Nice.
my senior year, I try out for the bowling team and I make it. And this is like where I am in my life, right? Like I like hate any kind of authority, whatever. And so like I fought it out with my bowling coach on the lanes one time, and and he kicked me off the team because he because I
Oh,
guess like I missed a couple spares. I don't know. I wasn't on my game, and I had it out with him. I got kicked off of the football team, and I got kicked off of the bowling team.
Wow.
And yeah, so like that
oh,
watch means a lot to
All
me.
right, all
So
right.
whenever
You can
you
have
sell
it. You can have
it,
it.
uh,
oh,
and
I see here.
yeah,
Oh, sorry,
yeah,
I just see here. Bill Spruce says that in the 1970s, a perfect game was a big deal. So
yeah, yeah.
I guess I mean to me, it's a big deal,
It's
and
still a big deal.
I even use like those gutter bumpers when I
Yeah,
bowl. You
I
know,
think the highest I ever got was like a 270 something. Yeah,
Wow.
wow,
Holy
yeah,
man,
yeah,
shit.
man. I'm like half Slovak, man. They just like my grandmother in West Virginia. Every time I would visit her, I mean, she just had trophies. She had like one room of bowling trophies. Like she was like the man in Fairmont, West Virginia, in the late '60s, early '70s. Just trophies upon trophies. So I come from a long lineage of Slovak bowlers.
Wow. That is wild.
Amin, how are you, man? How was your week? It sounds
Good.
like you had a rough week, man.
A little tiring.
Yeah.
Hanging in there. Yeah. Yeah, I'm working again this weekend, so
oh,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. On call.
But limited hours. It's good. It's all everything is good. Yeah,
What do you
I
got? What do
got
you have on
a
rest? Explorer 2. Let me give you a close up. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Hold on. So yeah, there you go.
ah,
Very
Explorer
nice.
2.
Very
I
nice.
think it's doing
I
weird
can't
things,
see
right?
the
Because of my
green
green
Yeah,
screen. That's
screen.
yeah.
all.
It's doing a green
Yeah.
screen on the. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Anyway.
Love
Excellent,
it,
excellent.
love it.
And
Bobby, what are you wearing?
oh yeah, so I got it back. I got the Jaeger and Benziger
Ooh,
back
Nice.
today.
it looks amazing on
Very
that strap.
this is Joe gifted me the strap.
Wow.
I tell you what, man, Barton.
Yeah.
It is what it is, right? But
Yeah.
they make some really good looking straps, and
Yeah.
you gotta love the quick
It looks
release
great.
spring bar. It looks great, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna wear the heck out of it on this strap.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I know now that this color, I mean, it just matches great with the blued hands, and
Mm,
that I would
Ah,
go,
that's awesome.
and get some more blue straps. I tend to be conservative until like I try something new, right? And
mm.
then I'm like, oh yeah, then blue straps, of course I'll do blue straps. But a quick story on this, and I have a video coming out tomorrow about the story behind what happened. I thought there was a scratch. It looked like a scratch. I sent it in. It was under warranty, thank goodness, and it ended up being a piece of lint that was on the dial that didn't move. That would, no matter how many times I wore it, it stayed there. So that's why I didn't think when I was asked by the service people, is it possible that it could be a piece of lint? I mean, how could it be? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and they said it was a piece of lint, and then 2 days later, I had my watch back. So very, very excited about it. I missed it, even though it was only gone for about less than a week. I think I mailed it on Saturday or Monday. I don't know. I don't know.
Mm.
Anyway, guys, sorry, we gotta say hello to the chat. Hey, Mountain
Yeah.
Standard Time, what's up? James Arthur, ooh, flying from tonight to New York City from Hong Kong. All right, man.
Wow.
Safe travels, James. Hope you can enjoy a little bit of a show before you board. Blue shirt is in the house. Hey, Peter, what's going on? Riss Ross, what's up, man? Yeah. Jeff, what's up, dude? Joe, how are ya? Guys, also let us know what you're wearing on wrist. Jared, Hello, sir. Oil money, always bringing it. Always bringing it. Bill, hello. Nilo, what's up, man? Joe C. That's you, Joe. Come on, man. You always. This is the second week in a row I fell for that.
Well, at least this time you realized it after you
Yeah.
said it.
Way, what's up, man? How are you? Ep, how you doing? Ken, what's going on? We got the crew, the regular crew here. Oh, what's up, James? The Great Gambino. Awesome channel. Awesome VR stuff, man. He's doing, man. So if you're into that kind of stuff, please check James out.
Cool.
Let's see here. Anybody else? I'm just catching up. Mr. Jones, hello. I like Mr. Jones. I like following him on Instagram. I like his posts. Peter's wearing the Zen 104.
Awesome.
Mr. Jones is wearing the Seiko 777. Longines Big Eye. James is wearing. Didn't somebody put out a video this week about the Big Eye?
Yeah, John
Kind of
P. over at Delray, right?
Right. It was like some 5 watches, or 10 watches that are gonna blow up, or whatever
Yeah.
it was. And that was one of them. So
Yeah.
putting
Is
that on
James
the map.
wearing the James, let us know. Are you wearing the steel one or the new titanium? Because I'm curious about that one.
This one, the Rolex.
The James who's got the big eye.
Okay, yeah.
My face was all red. I had my white balance on underwater auto for some reason. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, no, I noticed that, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
I have
should
no
say
idea how
anything.
that could be. Like I haven't taken that camera away from my computer. I haven't changed the settings.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody's playing a practical joke on me here.
Ah,
Yeah.
could be.
Philip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, did I drink and not know it? Because I turn red when I, when I drink.
Dominic, how are you?
Sorry.
Nice.
No worries. Dominic's wearing the Explorer. Not on risk, but picked up the Vertex M100. I do not know that watch. Do you know that one, Joe? Yeah.
No.
I've heard of that.
Ken is wearing the NTH.
Nice.
Jean-Claude is wearing the his beater, the Zealous Black Tip Teal.
Nice.
Excellent. Let's see.
Oh, Vertex is like the Dirty Dozen watches, I think.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah, nice.
Mr. Bacchus is wearing his brand new Vostok Amphibia Scuba Dude. Cool.
Excellent.
That's like one of those watches that you kind of have to pick up, right? You know what I mean? Because they're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Way's
Yeah.
wearing the Nomos Metro Datum Gong Reserve.
That's Marcus's favorite.
Is it? Yeah. Awesome. Ep is wearing the Super Ocean. Joe, I saw this picture. You were wearing the Bling Master today. Saw
That's
that.
fantastic. Congrats.
I gotta pick one of those up.
Sweet.
That's speaking of fun watches. That's
Sweet.
got to be a lot of fun. Jared Stova Classic Flieger on wrist tonight. Blue shirt wearing the bluesies. The bluesy. A lot of great watches tonight, guys. Awesome. It's Friday night. It's Friday night in quarantine. We're not going anywhere. Let's wear our best watches. That's what I say. Penny's here. Hey guys, long day on Zoom. Now I'm tipsy.
Yeah, Penny.
Awesome. Awesome, Penny. Let us know what you're drinking. Bill's wearing the RS Big Crown GMT. Yeah, well, there you go.
Nice.
So, don't really have anything planned tonight, guys. Guys on the chat, if you have anything that you want to talk about, it please put it in. I guess we we start off with some new releases. There have been some interesting ones, especially Audemars, right? AP came out with some colors, right?
One color.
One color. Okay, true. But
they're awesome.
But they're awesome. Here we go, right? The smoke green. So what do you guys think about this? Joe, Amin, any thoughts?
Joe, you go first.
It's beautiful. I'm sure they're all sold out in Dubai already, but it's beautiful. I've gotten too used to the Royal Oak having the tapisserie dial,
Yeah.
so this Moser type of fume caught me off guard. But maybe it's a good thing to have in the line. Um, anyway, it looks cool. So yeah, nothing else. Nothing else. It's just a pretty watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I love that green. I don't know. I mean, green's been the thing. It's been a thing for a little while now, right? I mean, it's not like it just came out. I mean, people have been doing green watches, I think, for the last like year or so. It's been really taken off in popularity. Even Long Island Watch, they did a green dial dive watch, which I had in for the channel too. So green has been around, but I really, really like. Man, I really like this one. I really
Mm.
like this one. I don't know if I was going to buy, if I had Audemars, if I had AP Royal Oak money, I don't know if this would be the first one,
Mhm.
but it is nice, and it's AP feels like a brand that lacks imagination, um, because they seem to be just the Royal Oak brand. I mean, I know they have other watches, but it feels that way to me. Um, but at least doing something different with the color in a big way. Actually, I'm impressed. I like it. Amin, how do you feel about it?
I guess I like it. I'm not as into the Royal Oak as some people are. I like it a lot. I don't see myself ever wanting to own one. Um, if I did, I think I'd still go for a tapisserie dial,
Mhm.
Hmm.
um, and probably black. Um, but um, and it definitely, green has definitely been a thing for a while now, and it's hard to see this without thinking. At least for me, it's hard to look at it without thinking of Moser. I mean, Moser kind of repopularized the fume dial, and then
Hmm.
they've just, this exact fume dial looks a lot like the Pioneer green
Hmm.
fume dial, um, which frankly I like better than this that watch. But that's just my own taste, and so I like it, but I wouldn't buy it. I'd rather
Yeah.
have a Moser than this, and I'd rather have a tapisserie Royal Oak than this.
Yeah. I think I'm with you on that. I just like how they've done a little bit something different. I mean,
Yeah,
which is nothing impressive. It's just a different colored dial.
I'd rather have a code 1159 than this too. But I like the code 1159,
That's
especially some of
awesome.
them. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, Oil Money, the '70s Moser and Platinum. Um,
Oh yeah, we didn't even mention that this is solid platinum, right? That
Mm.
this is a platinum
Mhm.
watch.
Mhm.
Yeah.
oh, and yes, he came. He showed
Oh
up.
my goodness.
Good to see you,
Hey.
Ra.
What's up?
It's good to
What's
see you
up, man?
too. I know I checked. I was like, let me just make sure, you never
Well,
know.
That's awesome.
well, I saw Amin had invited you. He showed us the exchange, and how you're kind of like
Oh
kicking
yeah.
yourself for missing it, So I was like,
Oh my
what?
God, I was very
Let's
upset. I
let's
was
give
We
a
like,
sh-
oh,
we were all talking about how we wanted to have you back soon.
Yes.
thank
Yes.
you so much. I had a really good time, and
Awesome.
my family got a good kick out of it. My kids loved it, and
nice.
my wife was rolling her eyes and hasn't even gotten through 10 seconds of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
She
so funny.
was,
As
oh
as
goodness gracious,
as
talking
they
about
do,
watch.
as they do.
My wife has yet to watch 10 seconds of any of my YouTube stuff. Total cumulative. She's
Yeah,
just
that
not
is
interested.
nuts. Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't surprise me one bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like, oh boy. Oh well. It was funny.
Well,
Someone had posted a picture on, I think it was HT, with the Tudor Black Bay with the maroon bezel, and I ran into one of those hiking in Puerto Rico in the rainforest, and I'm with my wife and this other guy. He's passing me, and I was wearing a black Omega Seamaster SMPC, which I didn't really connect with, so it's gone now. And like we looked at each other and we saw each other's watches, and I was like, "Hey, that's a great watch." He's like, "Hey, yours too." And then I looked at my wife, and she had this look on her face. And then I look at him, and he looks at his wife. His wife had the same look, and it was like, "Hey," just get thumbs up, and then just kept hiking on. Like, "Hey, well, we gotta let this go."
Rod, when you were down in Puerto Rico, did you by chance were you in Old San Juan?
Yes.
Did you go? Did you stop at Club Jibarito, which is like their one of the couple of watch dealers down over there? Really awesome high. I mean, they have Audemars, they have
Really?
Zenith, they have Vacheron. Yeah, it's one of my. My mother used to live in Puerto Rico. I used to live in Puerto Rico too. But
Oh, awesome.
when I would go visit her, I would go about 4 or 5 times a year. Always would make a stop.
No, I didn't see those. I went to a Breitling AD, which was really nice. Had some nice watches. I almost bought one.
Yeah,
A Chronomat, one of 75. And I was like, "Wow, this is an amazing watch," but it wasn't $11,000 amazing.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah.
It's on my Instagram page too. I was like, "Oh, this watch is awesome," but this is too much.
Ooh.
So, got a topic suggestion here from Oil Money, and I figured maybe I'd throw this out there before we go and check out any more new releases. Would love to hear the panel about lessons they learned selling watches.
I'm just going to interrupt 1 second,
Yeah.
Rob. 2 people giving love to UN in the chat, which I think has never happened before. So I just want to mention that. We can go back to Oil Money's thing, but
yeah.
But,
no, I'm trying to look for it.
But James Arthur and Pete from Not So Obvious Watches, both giving love to UN. So
you're not going to see that. You're not going to see that too often.
That's a once in a YouTube channel occurrence. I really like UN. I'm sticking to my one watch per brand, but otherwise I could own more than one UN.
What was the? I sent the picture early this week to you.
UN's a real deal.
The UN that you had brought up a few weeks ago, the blue one. Wasn't somebody wearing it, or didn't I? Oh man, I am forgetting. I sent it, and somebody was wearing that watch. That we were like, oh. Anyway, so it'll come back to me. Anyway, so Oil Money would love to hear from the panel about any of the lessons they learned about selling watches. Now, very, very important. We certainly have learned a lot of lessons buying watches, right? I did recently with this. But what about selling watches? Now, I'll kick it off. I really haven't had any crazy experiences. The people that I've sold watches to are typically people that I have had some contact with before or know them. So fortunately, I haven't had an issue, but I know that's not always the case. And I know one day it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Have you guys had any? Let's start off. It's easy to start off with the negative experiences. So has anybody had some negative experience selling watches on the panel?
Well, I'll just mention one lesson. It's not negative because, but it's one that Colin taught me yesterday, which is that when you ship with insurance from FedEx or UPS, that in the fine print they don't insure more than a certain amount of watches. Like I don't think UPS. I want to say they don't actually cover insurance on luxury watches, and FedEx that you could buy $15,000 of coverage from FedEx, and the max that they're going to cover on a watch is like $500, something like that. So Colin taught me that he used this third-party company called Secursis, and you basically. So I used them yesterday when I sent a watch in, shipped a watch off for service. You like I bought overnight FedEx. It was like I think like $200. And then you get the tracking number and you go to the third party site and you give them the tracking number and you buy the insurance from them, and they cover you fully. And they had good feedback on Omega forums, and then on another site, like Trustpilot or something like that. And other people had spoken of their good experience with them on Omega forums. So it's really interesting because, you buy the insurance for the value on these different shipping companies and you think it's actually insured, but then the fine print is like, does not apply to luxury watches or whatever. So that
And what's interesting is they take your money.
They take your money.
You know what I mean? And they ask you.
It's
You know,
not up to them. They ask you what's in there,
right?
but then they don't cross-check what you put for what's in there against whether it's one of the things that they'll actually cover. Joe put the actual name in the chat, Secursis, and they're based out of France, but they'll insure stuff in the U.S. and in other countries. I don't know if there's any countries that are excluded. They don't turn anybody down. There are protocols you have to follow. So you have to double box. You should take pictures before you ship. The person who's receiving the package, if it's damaged, they should refuse it or immediately mark that there's an issue when they receive it. So there is some fine print with them too. But if you do it right, they'll actually insure you. And if you're doing it with some of these other companies, you may as well just you also have to use signature required and adult signature required for them. All that stuff's spelled out on their website. They're very transparent. But yeah, if you really care about shipping an expensive watch that you're selling, read the fine print with any company that you're shipping with.
What about you? What about USPS? Do you know if there's a limit? I mean, because I always like buy insurance.
Yeah.
I mean, I never send like anything over $1,000.
Yeah.
I never send over to USPS anyway.
Yeah.
But anything under, if like, oh, it's like a $500, well, I'll buy insurance. I mean, am I covered?
Well, I don't know, but what I would say to you, Rob, is I would recommend not buying that insurance. I stopped buying insurance for my under 1,000 UPS shipping a long time ago, and the reason is that you probably send a lot of watches, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the amount that you're paying on the insurance, if you get taken on a $500 watch, you're still going to lose less money than buying insurance every time you flip a $500 watch. It's a lot of watches.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, ship cover on eBay and USPS, I don't know if they actually cover well.
James saying, don't rely on PayPal insurance to sell or buy a watch, as it is your word against the person. PayPal will take your money from you regardless if you receive the item or not. Okay. I heard that USPS has an insured watch specific option. That's news to me because I've been asked before, what am I shipping? And I tell them, and then that's the end of the conversation.
My other bad experience is famous because I made a video about it, but I wired money to a scammer and almost lost a lot of money. So
beware of wires.
Don't use unprotected payments unless you're absolutely certain that the other person is rock solid.
A Boogie saying that FedEx will cover electronics at almost any price, but $2,000 for max for watches. I think there's a lot of confusing information. I mean, I don't know if it's country specific or region specific, or
they also charge more, right? So FedEx's insurance is something like 3% up to $300, and then 1% of the value for every additional amount beyond that. Which is also more than Secursis charged. So they charge more, and they don't honor it.
Yeah, I sent this to RGM in PA, which is the next state over, but it's on, it's, I don't know, about 4 or 5 hour drive from where I live. And I was asked what it was, and I paid insurance up to the amount that I paid for the watch, and they took my money, and it was like $90. But what was I paying for? At the end of the day, right? So this is good information. This is good information because I'm not typically sending watches at that price point, but I have because I've had to, and now I know third party, especially anything that's mine too. You know what I mean? Or that I'm selling that's mine. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It's not nice, but yeah, anything a little less, then I'm not going to bother with insurance because what's the point?
If possible, sell to Joe. That's another advice that I have.
Sell to Joe and buy from you, right?
If possible, sell to Joe. I was like, I don't know if it keeps good time. He's like, oh, whatever. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, some mark scratches. Let me show them to you. He's like, oh, I don't care about any of that. I was like, all right.
Oh, and look where it is now.
Any experience selling watches that didn't go so well, or anything to?
No, I've been lucky.
Mhm.
I've only sold to private citizens 2 times, and then everything else had been. And both of those watches, I was selling for less than $1,000. Like one was my Oris Aquas, which I managed to buy back from the guy for the same price because it was like right after COVID had hit, and I was like, hey, if you ever want, because it's immediate seller's remorse.
Mm.
And I was like, if you ever want to get rid of this watch, contact me right back. I'll buy it right back for what I paid you for it, and I'll pay shipping, all that stuff. And then COVID had hit, and he had contacted me like a month after, asking if I wanted to buy it back.
Mm.
And I was like, yeah, definitely, man. So
Mm.
that went well both ways. And another time, I had another cheaper watch I sold to a guy from a law enforcement board because I was a police officer for a long time, and I knew him personally, and that was just I didn't think of insurance or any of that. You know, it's surprising information. But every watch since then has been to like, David S.W., Crown and Caliber, and so on. So it's where they take care of all that for you, pretty much. So
Pretty safe. And I think, speaking of Crown and Caliber, I mean, I know Amin and I recently have had pretty positive experiences with Crown
I've
and
had
Caliber.
several.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how it's going to go now.
Right.
Hodinky, it's like, as soon as I heard about that deal, I was like, well, they are off the map.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with David S.W., Watchbox, here on out, and maybe someone else I can find. But yeah, we'll see. I've noticed they've had a lot. I don't know if you guys are getting the text messages from them. Like they are texting and emailing me like one of those what is this, the new car warranty, the warranty, do you want to extend your warranty? Like I hear more from Crown and Caliber than those spam warranty calls. And I'm like, what in the world is going on over there? I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm not even. And it's about watches that I wasn't even looking at. I'm not looking at a Submariner. Why would I want to, so
yeah, I've been
no idea.
I've been getting a lot of emails from Crown and Caliber. I've been also getting a lot of emails from David S.W. I've never sold to David S.W., but I've been getting at least an email a day saying, "Do you want to sell your watch?" So it's interesting because is there a shortage of this is a recent events. Now I don't know if they've been doing this all along, and I just happen to fall into this, into their system this way. I mean, I've been signed up with them for a while, and with Crown and Caliber. But those two have been hitting me up a lot lately, and I wonder if it's just a drying up of inventory. It doesn't seem like that's possible.
It's recent. I'm getting the same ones. I've been signed up with getting emails from them, or rather in contact with David S.W. for easily 5 years.
Yeah.
This is new, and I think they're taking advantage of the market because, they're businessmen. So it's a smart thing to do. Do you want to sell your AP? Do you want to sell your Rolex? We're looking for Patek and so on. So they're just casting a wide net, trying to grab what they can, which is honestly what I would do if I were in their position, especially right now.
I don't know if you guys have been noticing, but today is one of our panel members' birthday who's not able to make it tonight because he is probably celebrating with his family, although I see him at the chat. But it is Colin's birthday, so
happy birthday, Colin.
Happy birthday, Colin.
Joe let it out of the bag, so
sorry.
I didn't know. Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason why I knew is Facebook told me today. So then I said happy birthday on our little chat.
So is now a good time to buy? Is that the point of that?
Well, now it's a good time to sell, right? Because if the inventory is drying up as it appears, and they're reaching out to us, right?
But they're trying to buy because it's a good time to buy, right? Or am I overthinking this?
They're trying to take advantage of the people that are, hey, look at the prices of these watches now, and they're like, hey, we've got capital, let's get them. We can flip them for even more. Because, whatever they buy it from is never what they're going to sell it for.
True,
people go into selling watches like, oh, I saw this for X amount of dollars on David S.W., so I'm going to sell it for X amount of. You're not David S.W., so it doesn't work that way. So, yeah.
Well, yeah. So I guess it depends on how you're looking at it. But if you are willing to sell to a David SW or a Crown and Caliber, it seems like it's a good time to sell to them.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Anyway, we know how luxury watch prices have been going up like crazy, right? So demand is up, inventory is low, and so yeah, so I guess it's a good time not to buy. I would imagine it would be a good time to sell.
Hmm.
Hey Pete, looking at gray market sites, the cupboards are pretty bare. Maybe that's true for used too. Um, yeah, I mean, I go on Delray a lot, and there always seems to be putting up new stock, or not new stock, but like new
Yeah.
um, inventory up. I don't know. I kind of am, and we can segue to this. I haven't been really looking too much lately because I'm kind of sort of satisfied of where I'm at right now. I know that is not going to last forever, and it probably won't last until tomorrow. But is there anything? And we're at 9:36, and I got to this a little bit earlier than I hoped to. But is there anything that you guys are looking at that it's in the radar? And I know, Joe, we were talking a little bit about this before the show started. Is there a couple of things that you're looking that's on the radar for you for purchase soon? I mean, I know obviously you bought a couple of vintage stuff lately, but anything out
Yeah,
there?
yeah, kind of. I guess I kind of fell into this phase of collection expansion. You know how we kind of talk about here and now, here and again, kind of like contraction,
Yeah.
expansion in our collection. So I very much fall into a very active phase of expansion, and I'm looking at kind of my go-to is talking with watchmakers that I really admire and seeing if I can afford anything that they're doing. One thing that is hopefully coming in the next few weeks is a hop ring into the collection.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
um, they
Nice.
made this new version of their mono pusher Felix chronograph that is very unlike their typical, very austere, kind of almost bland dial style. This one is kind of almost vintagey with a kind of a tuxedo beige and black dial and big loomed digits on it. So a little bit, it almost looks a little bit more like a hand heart because it has a
Hmm.
red snail tachymeter scale on it than a typical hab ring. So I really fell in love with it uh, and uh, and got that one. But otherwise, I'm also kind of dipping my toes like with this Bulova Olma dive watch into vintage a little, and I've got my eye on some other. You're trying to learn things, read more articles, listen to podcasts uh, about from folks who like vintage, and so starting to look at some brands that are a little bit less. Or a little bit more under the radar, like vintage, like Movado and things like that.
Hmm.
So yeah, just kind of exploring the vintage world as well, and hopefully won't get fleeced in the process.
Now, did some of those vintage Movado um, Chronos have El Primero movements in them?
Yes, they did. Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
you're right on the money. Yeah, they are super cool. Just about the same time that the El Primero came out in '69, Movado was a very early adopter. They named it the 3019 PHC caliper. So if you see that 3019 PHC, that's the El Primero first
Yeah.
generation in those Movados. So the super cool and super underappreciated. So yeah, I've been. It's funny that you should bring that up. That's exactly the type of Movado
Sorry,
that I've been
sorry to blow up
looking
your
out for.
spot. I mean,
No,
there's
no, no,
no-
no. That's fine. That's fine. It's fine.
I can imagine that you could probably um, get those for a decent price now. I mean, and eventually, I think like everything is probably gonna somebody will catch on to it and it'll blow up. But for now, you could probably like what are you talking about? Like for a good example, like 1500, 2000, the most.
Yeah, yeah, a steel model. Oh, it doesn't even go that high. It doesn't
Yeah.
even go that
Okay.
high. Yeah. Yeah, so
Wow.
that's a good example. Another one is not quite as old, so might not be classified as vintage. But if you look into like mid to late '90s, Chrono Swiss, a brand
Hmm.
that's still around,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
very different now than it did
yeah.
when it first came out. And when it first came out, it was very classically like kind of German Swiss
Hmm.
styled and in reasonable sizes too, like 39s of 41 millimeters, not the big honking things that
Hmm.
they're making now. So those are still on eBay and all over the auction sites for less than 2,000.
Yeah, and Chronosos, if I'm not mistaken, really pioneered the wristwatch regulator. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
so
those are very
there's
pretty.
some history there with Chrono Swiss. There's
Yeah.
some great things that they've done. Yeah, no, their older stuff really looks classic. I really like the look of them. Um, Ra, anything on the radar? Anything? I know you're very cerebral when it comes to your picks.
Yeah, I
So.
was looking at that on Amin stream, the Master Control World Timer with
Hmm.
JLC.
Hmm.
I was all about that watch,
Right.
and I was talking to a buddy of mine. He's like, "Dude, you're getting this, you're getting that, you getting the other." He's like, "How often are you enjoying? It seems like you buy and then you
Mm.
chase." So he says, "Why don't you just take some time off and enjoy what you have and think about it?" And then I was like, "You know what? To hell with it. I'm just gonna wait on that piece.
Yeah.
Gonna wear what I have now, give it 6 months, even a year, and then come back into it." The
Yeah.
only thing I would
Mm.
even think about, like just buying on the spot, was that super limited edition Omega Seamaster that they made for the Swiss military unit. There's like 50 examples.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So if knowing Swatch Group and Omega, yeah, there's going to be like 8,000 of those coming down the road.
Huh.
So I was like, I'm just going to sit and wait and see what happens with that, and just wear what I have now,
Hmm.
relax, slow the hell down, because that, put me on the spot. He was right. Spend too much time chasing this watch, that watch, the other watch. Because I bought the IWC, the GLC, and a Blanc Pawn in like a 3 month span, or
Yeah.
2.5 month span. It's like, wait a minute, this is getting out of control now. So why don't you wear them for a little
Yeah.
bit and enjoy them, and then see what happens? So
It's great to have like a watch consigliere. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I have one, and sometimes a lot of times I get feedback from him, and then like there's times when I don't want feedback from him and I won't reach out to him because I know what his answer is
yeah,
going to be. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And
It's
every
good
time I've
advice.
done that with mine,
Yeah.
that watch has wound up gone 2 months later.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and usually at a loss, because I don't really chase like the popular hype pieces.
Mhm, mhm.
So it's I buy a watch, sell it, and then lose $1,000. Oh well, I learned my lesson. So
Right. Right. Not so I've Pete put down a deposit on a watch, a 7th month waiting list, given time to save. So using that to stop me buying anything in the meantime.
Mm.
Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Joe's, I'm pretty much tapped out, but I've had several watches coming in over the next few months. Anordane, excellent. Zenith, Ketalar's excellent as well. Vintage
Ah,
JLC coming back from
that's awesome.
service.
Wow.
It's quite a lineup. That's
ooh,
quite a lineup he's getting back.
Sweet.
Um, what's this? Huh? 37, 37 millimeter whitetail. Okay. Um,
She's getting a Royal Oak.
Oh
uh,
yeah, yeah.
wow, nice.
Penny is blowing up.
so Slicey, that's a good evening, fellow Earthlings. Thank you, Slicey. He's about overwhelming. So, what did you say? Penny's getting a Royal Oak. Is that what's going on?
That's what it looks like. Because Colin said, "What size Royal Oak are you getting?" And then she
Ah,
said, 37.
Nice.
gotcha. Okay, I read this as Colin. Okay, I got a little confused there. Wow, Penny, Penny, man,
Doing
she
it.
put out a video last week of her collection. Man, her collection is beast, and she
Mhm.
adds Royal Oak to that. That's awesome.
So this is like,
That's
I
amazing.
feel like Penny and her wife are doing Penny's doing the one for you, 1, 2 for me,
Yeah,
two for
right.
you,
Absolutely. That's
1, 2,
absolutely what's
3 for
going on.
me, 3 for you.
Yeah. So when we first met Penny, she came on the chat, and me and her sat down, and she did a state of her collection. And this is what I recall from that. She's like, I buy like a watch a year. I put a lot of thought into it. You know, I have this system with my wife where I buy a watch, then it's her turn, then it's my turn. And then in a matter of months after that, it's like full on like
It's like,
watch addict. Like,
next
you know,
4 watches are mine.
0 to 100.
That's why I'm drunk now. I love it.
uh,
So
we love
funny.
it too. We all love it because you know why? Because we can relate.
I'm really
Uh,
tempted to get a Doxa now. I don't know. You guys kind of
Mhm.
planted
the
that
new
seed
one,
in my
the,
head.
the, the
Yeah.
carbon,
One
or
of
just
them, not
any.
necessarily that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
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 A Doxa. I feel like it would be a good throw it on any time watch,
You know,
any situation.
Yeah.
if I hadn't had this thing in my head about being having way too many divers in my collection, like if I could just
Mm.
get rid of that silly thought, like who cares?
Mm.
It's what I collect. It's what I tend to collect, right? I'm so down with getting a Doxa. So down. Like that's the next,
Yeah.
because it'd be so different compared to any other diver that I've had. And
I don't have a single diver with a turning bezel on it right now. For the
oh, you
first time,
got to get a
yeah,
Doxa.
in
You
a
gotta
long
get-
time. In a long time. I mean, I've had many. Yeah.
Ugh.
It would be
Yep.
fun to have something to turn.
To refer
Producer
producer
Penny.
pennies. Oh man, that's great. We uh, we have ruined Penny. Sorry, but not sorry.
That's awesome.
Penny. Uh,
Penny's got to do a video about gifting a watch to her camera person on the
yeah.
on the channel.
You know what's crazy? I remember that. And look, I mean, the guy picked a Panerai, right?
Right,
But he could have gotten any watch he wanted. Really, I mean, like
Pretty
I know,
much.
I know. Producer
Yeah.
Michael was like, okay, but don't, whatever. But
Don't.
like
Yeah.
he would have on the spot, and
Yeah.
like he could have picked anything, and he picked the Panerai, which is great. I mean, like it is what it is, and Panerai's a great watches. I have one. I know
Yeah.
Amin, you have one. I would get another one.
Yeah.
But if I had like the opportunity to have a watch gifted by producer Michael, and I can select any which one out of this immense
Yeah.
whatever store they were in, right?
Right.
The place that he always goes to.
Right.
Man, that wouldn't have been my first pick.
Yeah.
I would have gone.
Maybe he was just trying to be not ask a lot of his boss.
I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess.
Is this the same guy that got the Rolex Sub DLC? Was it that one? I stumbled upon a video of his, and there's like his assistant.
Was it?
Yeah, and
I
I'm
don't.
like, what are you doing? But
That sounds about right because the
the
guy
black
who,
and yellow Sub, they had modified it to
I
the
mean,
nth degree.
from what I recall from that one episode was that the camera guy, he was kind of into watches, but he wasn't really into watches. So that probably maybe explains why he just, picked what he picked. Not knocking Panerai, not knocking Panerai. I mean, Panerai is a great looking watch, but like compared to the other watches, he had a chance. I mean, like us, we would have picked something totally different. Okay, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me that this is the same guy that has like the DLC Submariner, like would do that to a watch.
It was very
Um,
odd.
yeah.
Very. The salesman was smiling, like,
Oh,
"Oh yeah,
yeah.
sure, you want to buy it? Here you go."
He got-
And I'm like, "Yeah,
he
I'd be
probably had this-
smiling too if I was that salesman."
He had that piece probably in there for a year, couldn't get rid of it.
Oh,
You know what I
man.
mean? Yeah, and on a bracelet of all things, the Panerai. That's right, it was on a bracelet, which is a little, it's a little odd. I mean, I'm so used to rubber strap with a Panerai. Man, that's funny. Let's see here. Who else do we have here? Sorry, guys. I know I saw some Doxa comments. Orange Hen, if I'm tutor, I'd be worried about Doxa eating my lunch. Okay. I'm thinking over that statement. New Doxa carbon models and colors look really, really tempting to buy as well. they're beautiful. I just I'm not really happy about the purchase the price.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because they are kind of expensive, right? I
The
mean,
skill
what?
price is more attractive.
Yeah, the like that the 300T at 1850, I think it is somewhere around there. That that's a good looking watch. I mean, like
What's
I
the
could do.
difference between the 300 and 300T? I was looking. They're similar price, similar looking. What's one of them? I think was a chronometer. I mean, is
Yeah, I mean,
that the main difference?
if
A little
someone,
bit thinner.
yeah, if somebody could mention, if somebody knows off the top of my, I mean, I know if Craig, if he's watching, he knows. Oh, not sure I would pay that much for a new carpet. So this is Craig right here. He has a 300T, I believe.
Mm.
I'm not 100% sure. The last time I looked at him was probably months ago. Compared to the two, I liked the 300T better. I think it was maybe a slightly different aesthetic look to it. I'm not 100% sure. We can pull that up because I am curious because I really do like
They look very
Doxa.
similar. Yeah.
Let's see
I'm
here.
looking hard at Doxa.
Ooh, we know where that leads. That's good.
Yeah, it's coming in.
Rubber or beads of rice?
I have
Beads
to
of
go
rice.
beads of rice.
Beads of
Yeah,
rice?
Got to do it old school, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
always.
I
So
love
this is the
rubber so
300.
much.
This is the
But
300T. It's a reinterpretation of 1969. Maybe.
It's a great
Yeah,
watch.
man.
That was the Caribbean up there, the blue dial. Yeah, I would take
Yeah.
that second.
So now the question is like, so I mean nobody does. There's not too many people who do orange like Doxa, in my opinion, right? So I almost feel like, and I could rock this all day long.
Mhm.
But you're right. The Caribbean looks great too. I know, Joe. You said you like this, the silver dial, right? Was it
Just in renders,
just renders? Yeah.
because it looks kind of shiny. I agree. A bright color Doxa is probably the best, but which
Yeah,
one
someone
is
just
hard
picked
to
one
pick.
up on HT too. I saw the
Ooh.
Silver Dial Sea Rambler.
Oh,
Was it Giovanni? Giancarlo.
Hmm.
okay. Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
nice close up shots. Good looking watch.
Yeah. Craig just sold his. Okay. He had the yellow dial on the beads of rice. Um, Penny approves, and we'll be getting one next week. Chewbacca's hair. Caribbean is my choice, but orange is iconic. What? There's a new Doxa Army coming out soon. Okay. Yeah. So let me jump over here and see what I can find on the 300 and see what. So this is a reinterpretation 1969, 1200 meters. Let's do the 300 here. Looking very similar.
little pricier.
Right. So you have professional.
I think these are chronometer. The crystal looks more domed. I think they're hair thinner.
Yeah, Riss Ross had mentioned something about the crystals earlier in the chat. Yeah.
Oh, you can see it right here. Yeah. You can see
Yeah.
like that vintage style box
Yep.
crystal. Yeah, glass box crystal.
300 meter instead of 1200.
Cusk certified.
Yep. Less
Okay.
depth rating, a little more expensive, chronometer grade, little bit thinner. I think I'd go the less expensive option between these two. They look
Yeah, I'm
almost
with
the
you.
same. 300 meters is
I'm
plenty.
with you on that. There's
a
so
300T on eBay right now. Good price. 50th anniversary. All right.
James.
So
Yeah.
we got a few Doxa owners in the chat. Tell me where's the
Nice.
best place to buy a Doxa if you're going to buy a Doxa online. Just curious.
Good question. Would it make sense to get this pre-owned?
don't think the prices
was-
are that much lower pre-owned.
Yeah, they're not that much
No,
lower.
I was looking at them pre-owned about. Well, I don't know if it's changed. It's about maybe
Mhm.
5 months ago, 6 months ago. Some of the pre-owned prices were higher than the prices from Doxa, and it was on like the same exact models. And I'm like, wait, it doesn't happen too often, but I'm like, why would this? Yeah, so
All right,
I would go new
Bruce,
if that's still the case. Yeah,
Bruce, who's a Doxa guy, says Doxa from Doxa, buy Doxa from Doxa.
Cool.
Colin saying not a huge discount pre-owned. Pre-owned aren't much lower. Well, good news is, I mean, it holds a little value then, at least. Yeah, best to just Colin is suggesting go off their site. Fun watch. I mean, it's almost one of these brands that you have to like if you're an enthusiast and if you're into dive watches specifically, you almost at one point in your collecting career have to have experience with one, right? It's one of those. Yeah. We thought about it. We thought about it, Neil.
Group watch. I'm actually in. If you guys want to do a group watch,
He's third in. He's third in.
Oh,
No.
no, I'll be first in. If somebody else says they'll go second, I'll go first in.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. Do we have to have? We can overlap colors, right? I mean, like if
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah. This is a group watch. This is a good group watch.
Amin's been the one that's been a stickler lately.
I've been the holdout.
He's been the holdout, and this is open it up. Of course, Marcus, I'm sure will have an opinion on this. I'm pretty sure
we will.
I'm pretty sure Colin and I will jump right in. Joe is another wild card.
Joe's not loving this idea.
No, you know what?
I don't think so.
It's a good idea. I was looking up something I think earlier today, something called the old Omega Semester banana, so bright yellow, and I was like, oh, I think I kind of like this, and it looks the yellow is just as bright as the Doxa yellow, so maybe I would go that direction.
Only you would find an Omega banana.
And I kept hearing Bobby Legs' voice in my head because he always says, "That's bananas. That's bananas."
That's bananas. Yeah. Man, that's great. Oh, and so Doxa is in your future.
That's what I'm thinking. Ketelars and Doxa.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, quite the addition, man. I mean, like that's
Yeah. I'm so excited for that Ketelars.
He posted
Me
something
too.
on IG today, didn't
Yep.
he?
Yeah, that's
He
a good looking
finished
one.
the watch.
Yeah.
Pretty nice looking.
Yeah, I think he only does like 20 a year. It's slow, but it's worth the wait.
Watches of Switzerland is selling Doxa now. Wonder if they'll discount. Isn't there issues with watches? Didn't they have some issues recently? Didn't they disappear and then reappear or something like that? Am I thinking of somebody else?
I think
I think it was
Yeah.
Well, Paul Thorpe put a video out with the watches of Switzerland. Da, 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 da. I didn't watch it because his videos, even though I like them, they all kind of meld together.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure what exactly had happened with them. So, but maybe that was it.
It's tough, Wilson, picking a color. I like yellow, but I have a yellow Breitling. I like black, but so many divers have that black with the white indices. I like the blue, but I have 2 blue watches. So
you're going orange.
I didn't want to go the classic one just because it's the classic one, but I think I end up going orange if I get it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go orange too.
Chaz is saying grab a carbon Doxa. If the carbon Doxa was 500 more than the regular, or maybe 1,000 more than the regular one, then I probably would do it. But at double the price plus some, it's a little too much for me.
Do we think that there's going to be a
I'm not
discount on
saying it
that?
isn't worth it. I'm just saying for me, it's not worth it. But it's a sweet
Yeah.
looking watch.
Do you think it's possible there'll be a discount on that? Like, 30% off, 25% off. I mean, because that's a lot. That's a lot. There's so many great watches in that price range. You know what I mean? There's a lot of competition there. You have to be
Yeah.
really into Doxa to buy that watch at that price.
How's the
Yeah.
bezel action on a Doxa? Is it good? Anybody spun a Doxa in the chat? Are they crisp?
Maybe Bruce would know.
James Duffy, no purchase pact is official for our group. We're going to be talking about group watches for
Yeah,
a long time to come. I think we just have different taste. We just all have different taste. Good bezel action.
good bezel action. Okay.
Nice. Rob, what about you? You what do you got on the in the plans?
Yeah.
Oh, you flipped it on me. Nothing. I mean, look, I have the attention span of a goldfish now when it comes to watches. So like every day, it's something that I fall in love with, and then the next day I fall in love with something else. So that just tells me that I'm not really seriously considering anything. Like I said, I'm really content. I know I have my U50 coming in the way along the way, and in the next month or so, I have another a Kickstarter watch from Germany that I'm geeking out on. I just love it, and I had the guy on the stream a couple months ago, and so that should be in May too. And I'm,
Oh, nice.
so I mean, I know it's a micro brand, I know whatever, but so I'm looking forward to that, and then that's, I mean, I'm not pretty much it. I mean, like the other day, I mean, I was drooling over Anordains a week ago. Satori, then obviously Ketelars, you know what I mean? Like all of them. And it's just like that English one that we like now too, Garrick. Is it Garrick? Um, but I tell you what though, and now that I have the U50 and the other one coming in, they're both divers. I'm going pretty watches for a while after that.
Mhm.
So similar stuff to this. I mean, I just dial work like this, engraving and hand turning guilloche, and hand guilloche. That stuff is the best, man. I could collect watches like that forever now. If the
Wow.
budget, I know, but I say this, I say this like now, like like 6 months from now, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, let me get a Bling Master.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
6 days.
Yeah.
6
I've been
days.
following your channel for a while, so when I see the watches that you liked about a year ago, and then coming up, it was like, wow, now you're into this,
Yeah,
this
yeah, no,
hardcore stuff. It's like, oh boy,
yeah. I mean,
it's
look,
quite the
I'm
change.
well, it's the people I surround myself with too. You know what I mean? I got
Mhm.
Joe, Amin, and
Hey,
and other. No, but no. I mean that in a real positive way. I mean, of course. I mean, like there's the more and more people I meet in this hobby, the more and more things I'm open up to. It's like traveling when you're young, right? You get a different perspective in life and other cultures when you go out and see the world at a young age, as opposed to never leaving your town, right? So that's what it's like for me, especially getting into this hobby in the last year. I'm still like a new kid, like discovering the world in this hobby. Terrible metaphor, but so no, I want this. I like to soak it up, and and it's helped me fine tune what I actually really like. I didn't know I liked this stuff a
Mhm.
year or two ago, but I really like this stuff now.
Mhm.
Yeah, that happened to me with IWC with because like plain dial watches. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is boring. It's boring. It's boring. And then I saw that one. I was like, it's kind of nice. Kind of nice. I don't know, whatever. Then I came across a good price for it and bought it. And I was like, oh, this is
Hmm.
like a great watch. I really don't have a big connection to it, but I get it now.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's one of those things that you have to experience. And then once you do, it's like, wow, I didn't even know that this would carry that much weight with me.
yeah. And like like even like in horology talk and meeting you got Ra. I mean, I never this is the second time we're meeting, and so like it's just opening up new possibilities, and yeah, man, it's like it's more than I've ever expected, and I'm so excited about this.
Mhm.
My wife could not really care too much about this, but neither all our wives probably don't really care. But it's something that we can hold on to and have.
Mhm.
That's ours. Uh, anyway, I saw some questions. Jay and Shapiro, have you guys? I think I've seen Shapiro watches before.
Oh yeah.
Probably not in my stratosphere, right? I'm imagine.
He's kind of blown up just in the past 18 months or so. He so great backstory. I mean, this guy was like an assistant principal out in Southern California, and on his spare time, learning the art of guilloche. Um, and so,
What?
yeah, because that's I guess that's what you do out there. But yeah, he put together learned watchmaking and gosh, he's really well learned. He even gave a Horological Society of New York
Oh wow.
talk about that. But he is really an excellent craftsman in that regard. And one of his hottest releases, I think, was in the past 8 months or so. The collective, the Watch Collectors Club out in California, the collective ordered like just 10 or 12 of these guilloche meteorite dials that he did, and they are so freaking beautiful. I probably follow all the on Instagram. I probably follow all the owners of this watch, and
Mm.
so I love seeing the macros of a shade meteorite dial. But it's super cool, very classical styling. Um, but I think his prices are a bit steep for me as well. It's like
Yeah, I mean the
what,
base model
20
for this one,
something?
21.5. Yeah.
Yeah, but beautiful,
Uh,
beautiful American made for it.
absolutely. Wow. Are these? I mean, he's getting Swiss movements, right? I mean, this is not. He's not making the movements. I would imagine, right?
I think right. They're not his movements right now. Even though he just moved into a new workshop, I believe he's working on his own movement, but right now
That's fine.
he's getting
That's
his
absolutely.
movements.
That's no off-shelf movement, though. I mean, that's pretty sick movement, whatever that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing work on it, of course. I mean, it's got to be a. Is it a 64? It's 98. I don't know.
Mm.
40 millimeter. It could be a 6498. I mean, that's a small on the small side of that,
Mhm,
but
mhm. It's a little tight.
but yeah, no, this is awesome. This is beautiful. I mean, this style work is amazing. Sure, yeah, I'll look into that.
So it's a. Oh, I can share my
Yeah,
screen for a
absolutely.
second.
Yeah.
It looks like this is the movement.
Ah, okay,
Mm.
So it's made in
Wow.
Germany,
okay.
and I'm not familiar with this manufacturer, but it is sweet. Look at that.
Vinny
Anyway.
Mira is so hot. Jared saying, for me, I bond with looks, craftsmanship, history of a brand, or significance of a certain watch. So much to look into that it can be overwhelming. In a good way, of course, always interesting. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I knew I've seen Shapiro before. I just didn't, it was probably out of my range. So, but beautiful looking watches, man. That's the kind of stuff that I like. Of course, I like the stuff that I can't afford,
Mhm.
Um, but yeah. Wow, wow, it's 10 after 10 East Coast time. We did a long show today, and we have at least 50 people hanging in with us. Thank you guys so much. I think we'll call it a night here. Joe, you got anything lined up for you, social media wise? Still just taking pictures and
Not even, no, just haunting Instagram and following everyone else,
yeah,
including Ra, who
yeah.
just tried. I think it was it for the first time, the 19 Crimes Snoop Dogg red wine that
Oh
you
yeah,
tried.
it was good.
It's not bad, right?
It
So
was good. Yeah.
Snoop Dogg did a collab to make red wine of all
Sure.
things.
Sure.
Drink it, don't smoke it,
Right.
and it's not too bad.
It was very good. I was like, oh, my wife came home with it. I was like, what in the world is going on in this house? You know, so it's like, yeah,
Nice.
we're going to drink the hell out of this. So,
Nice.
and we did. So,
Nice.
Raw at S7 Rivers on Instagram. Anything else coming up? Vacation? Anything? You do anything fun?
going back to work in a week. We've been
Okay.
on distance. I'm a school teacher right now, so
Mhm.
we've been on distance learning for over a year now.
Wow.
So we're getting
Wow.
ready to go back
Oh wow.
a week from Monday, and
Awesome.
it's going to be a circus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
good
I
luck.
thrive on chaos, so
Yeah.
it's going to be chaotic. I'll be in heaven.
Nice.
That's awesome, man. Well, stay safe, please.
Yeah.
Of course. Amin at Amin Reviews Official Instagram. Amin Reviews on YouTube. Stream next week, right?
Stream next week, Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
No doubt.
Okay. Okay.
Nothing
Very
else really going
Nothing
on.
else? Nothing else? Okay.
Not right now.
Oh, Bobby Legs, thank you very much for taking my Silverstein watch out past curfew to the club and doing very weird things with it.
That
I
was
appreciate
funny.
that. Before you send it back to me, please sanitize the watch because I
Yeah.
don't know what you did with it.
UV light.
Oh man, I was just having some fun with Premiere,
That was
trying to
goofy.
learn it, and yeah, and I was like, you know what, let me do a short here. Yeah, it was fun. Guys, thank you everyone for coming tonight, and we'll see you guys next Friday. Have a good night, guys. Thank you.
You guys have a great night.
Have a good one.
Thanks.